Then we have the fourth fight between Deiveson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. This is the first time in the UFC we have ever seen two guys fight 4 times, at least in modern UFC. So let's quickly recap the first 3. The very first fight was a draw. Figgy should have won that fight. There was a point deduction. That's why there was a draw. So he won that fight. They took a point away, draw. The rematch was a submission win for Moreno, where he looked incredible. And most recently, the fight was close on the scorecards, but Figgy beat the piss out of Moreno. He had 2 takedowns, 3 knockdowns, and he won it 48-47 across the board. Figueiredo is a very well-rounded guy who's dangerous everywhere. He's good at baiting you into a firefight, where ultimately he's going to control that range and light you up. His BJJ is great, and he is incredible off his back, not to mention the power in his hands. The issue, however, is he's a big guy, and that does affect his cardio. Brandon Moreno is an absolute dog. He's very tough. He's got a great chin. He puts on a nonstop pace. He averages almost 2 takedowns per fight, and he mixes things up really well. His biggest asset is definitely his pace and his will to win. He's going to continue to come forward and stay busy regardless of what's happening in the fight. He's coming off that TKO win over Kai Kara-France, where he started a little slow, but he was able to put it together. And I love Figgy in this spot. I absolutely love him here. He's definitely the better fighter. And without that point deduction, he won 2 out of 3 of these fights. Without the point deduction, who knows when that rematch would have even been. Not to mention all this James Krause stuff. And Moreno, who James Krause was his head coach for his last fight or his last couple of fights, all of a sudden, dude's banned. Brandon Moreno's needing to find a new gym last minute. He did not go back to his old gym. He came over here to Dallas, to Fortis, which I live in Dallas. I don't want to bump into anybody at a Costco. But holy crap, was that a bad decision? That was a bad decision for Brandon Moreno. I think Figgy's going to be more dominant than ever in this matchup. And I did have a 2-unit moneyline bet on him that was refunded because the James Krause ban, all those bets were refunded. Now the odds aren't on the board, at least not for Bet Online. They do exist elsewhere. I'm going to jump all over it. Right now, Deiveson Figueiredo's at a minus 120, minus 110. As soon as those, I do 90% of my betting with Bet Online. As soon as those odds drop for Bet Online, I'm going to hammer it again. I'm going to be all over it with another 2, potentially more unit moneyline bet. The fact that this is almost even is crazy to me because, again, Deiveson Figueiredo won 2 out of 3 of these matchups. The one that he lost, he just wasn't himself that whole time. And Brandon Moreno's got a new gym, a new everything's changing for this guy. We all love him. And that's probably what's factoring it. But Deiveson Figueiredo is absolutely the pick. As soon as these odds drop, there's going to be some money flowing on him. Make sure you have your Discord linked to premium membership so that when you see the bet, you get alerted and can follow instantly